Most men lose women not because they're not good enough, but because they don't understand what actually triggers attraction. You've probably been there. You treat her well, you respond fast, you're available. You do everything you think a good man should do. And then she pulls away. She stops texting. She becomes busy. Suddenly you're the one wondering what went wrong while she's out there moving on like you never mattered. It's not because she's evil. It's because no one taught you how women really respond to behavior. The truth is, attraction isn't logical, it's biological. And when you unknowingly hit the wrong switches, you turn her off without even realizing it. But here's the fix. Once you understand the 7 most common female weaknesses, you stop playing defense. You stop reacting. You start leading. This video isn't about tricks. It's not manipulation. It's about awareness. It's about using Stoic discipline and emotional control to flip the dynamic, to hold your power, to become the man she thinks about when she's alone. By the end of this video, you won't just hope she wants you. You'll know exactly what makes her want you and what makes her lose interest fast. Let's get into it. Number 1. Too many compliments kill attraction. Most men believe the fastest way to win a woman's heart is through endless compliments. You tell her she looks beautiful, you flood her photos with likes, you send heart emojis just to keep her attention. It feels polite. It feels like the right thing to do. But in reality, it kills attraction faster than silence ever could. Compliments are not the problem. The problem is when they're constant. Too much praise makes your words cheap, and women stop feeling their impact. Think about Mike, a 44-year-old from Chicago. After his divorce, he met Lisa, a 40-year-old interior designer. At first, things were going well, but Mike started every text with another compliment. "You are gorgeous. That picture is fire. I can't believe I get to talk to you." Within a week, Lisa wasn't smiling at her phone anymore. She was rolling her eyes. Not because she disliked compliments, but because they lost all meaning. They became background noise. Here's the truth. Women are surrounded by validation. Social media gives them 100 likes before noon. If your attention comes too easily, it doesn't set you apart, it makes you blend in. Once she knows you'll hand out praise for free, she no longer has to earn it. Stoic wisdom reminds us to value what's rare. Marcus Aurelius said, "The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have." When your need for her approval outruns your self-control, you hand her the steering wheel. What works better is anchored praise. That means your compliment is earned, specific, and tied to something she actually does. Let's say Lisa planned a night out with care. Instead of "You look amazing," Mike could have said, "I like how you thought through the details tonight." That shows effort. That shows he noticed something deeper than looks. Looks are common. Choices are rare. David, a 52-year-old widower from Texas, understood this by accident. He met Rachel, 46, through mutual friends. What drew Rachel in wasn't David saying she was pretty. It was when she calmed down a tense moment with her teenage son and David told her, "I respect how steady you are under pressure." That hit her harder than 50 generic compliments ever could, because it praised character. It showed presence. It made her feel seen. This is the shift you must make. Compliments are not candy you hand out every hour. They're tools to guide the connection. Praise effort, loyalty, and warmth. Hold back when she fishes for cheap validation. That doesn't mean punish her. It means you don't feed behavior that weakens respect. Your silence in those moments trains better than lectures. When you make your words rare and specific, they carry weight. Your approval feels premium, and when your approval has weight, so do you. If this makes sense, drop it in the comments right now. I earn my praise. And don't go anywhere, because up next, we'll uncover a simple mistake almost every man makes that quietly drains away his power, and you'll want to avoid it at all costs. Number 2. Attention makes you forgettable. Let's talk about attention, because this is where most men quietly lose their value without realizing it. Attention is like oxygen in a relationship. Too little and things fade, too much and you smother the flame. Most men don't understand this balance. They think being available every second, replying instantly, liking every post, double texting when they don't hear back is the way to show interest. But all that does is teach her that your time is cheap, and when your time is cheap, you become forgettable. Here's the loop you need to understand. Every time you hit like, comment, or fire off a quick WhatsApp text, you're giving her a little dopamine hit. If she can get those hits from you, no matter how she behaves, she doesn't have to invest. She can do the bare minimum and still feel rewarded. That kills attraction. You're not leading anymore. You're reacting. You've made yourself background noise. Now let's bring in some Stoic wisdom. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." Think about how much time you waste glued to your phone, firing off messages, waiting for replies, scrolling her stories. That's time you never get back. And worse, it's time that communicates the wrong message. You're showing her that she sits above everything else in your life. Work, health, friendships, purpose, pushed aside for a notification. That doesn't feel attractive. It feels desperate. The solution isn't coldness. It's calibration. You have to align your attention with her effort. When she invests, you respond with presence. When she doesn't, you don't chase. You let silence do the teaching. This doesn't mean ignoring her on purpose. It means respecting your schedule, your priorities, your own life. Create natural windows for connection. Maybe you check messages in the afternoon and again in the evening. That rhythm alone makes your time feel more valuable because you're not constantly available. Look at how this changes the energy. Instead of dripping out constant small talk, you send messages that move the story forward. This is fun. Thursday at 7, let's try that new Thai place. That shows purpose. That shows direction. Contrast that with the endless "hey" or "how's your day?" texts that don't build anything. Direction beats distraction every time. Attention also needs to shift away from the public stage. If most of your energy goes into reacting to her posts, leaving comments, boosting her online profile, you're just training her to chase an audience instead of intimacy. Real connection grows in private. A short voice note after a great date, a picture of something that reminded you of her, those carry weight. An avalanche of fire emojis does not. And when she tries to bait you, vague stories, jealous hints, little digs designed to see if you'll react, the worst thing you can do is take the bait. Most men rush to defend themselves, explain, or fight for reassurance. All that does is prove that she controls your center. The better move is steady and light. If she throws a jealous line, you keep calm and say, "If you want clarity, let's talk in person." You move the moment back into your frame. That calm is leadership. Marcus Aurelius put it simply, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. You can't control her moods, her posts, her little tests, but you can control where your attention flows. The man who spends all his energy feeding noise becomes invisible. The man who protects his attention, who gives it with intention, becomes unforgettable. So here's the principle. Reward investment, not noise. Attention should never be automatic. It should reflect your values. That's what turns it into something she actually respects. If this clicks for you, type it in the comments. I protect my focus. Stay with me, because next you'll see how a simple habit you might think is safe can quietly destroy the spark if you're not careful. Number 3. Predictable means replaceable. Comfort is nice, but comfort doesn't create chemistry. When a woman can script your every move, when she knows exactly what text you'll send in the morning or where you'll take her on Saturday night, the spark dies. Predictability kills attraction. And the dangerous truth is, when you feel replaceable in her eyes, you often are. Think about Paul, a 51-year-old accountant from Denver. After years of focusing on his career, he finally started dating again and met Karen, 48, a teacher. At first, Karen loved Paul's steady energy. He was kind, respectful, and consistent. But within 2 months, she knew his routine by heart. Every date was the same: dinner at the same restaurant, followed by the same drive home. Every morning text was identical: "Good morning, hope you have a great day." Harmless? Sure. But exciting? Not at all. Karen began to feel like she was reading yesterday's newspaper again and again. The brain lights up with curiosity when there's some uncertainty. If everything is predictable, there's nothing left to anticipate. Attraction thrives on small sparks of mystery. And mystery doesn't mean lying or playing games. It means revealing yourself in layers at the right time, instead of dumping everything at once. Paul didn't realize that his good habits had turned into a script, and Karen stopped leaning in. She didn't lose interest because she disliked him. She lost interest because the story had no more pages. Now imagine if Paul had varied the pace. Some mornings he texted, other mornings he let the silence speak until lunch, and then sent something thoughtful. Some dates were dinners, others were walks at sunrise, or visiting a small art gallery in town. The difference is not in spending money, it's in showing a life that has variety, purpose, and edges. That keeps a woman guessing what's next, while still trusting who you are. Here's what Marcus Aurelius said: "Give yourself a gift, the present moment." When you live with presence, when your life is full with training, friendships, and creative pursuits, you naturally become less predictable. You're not waiting on her texts with nothing else to do. You're moving through your life with rhythm, and she fits into that rhythm. That's what makes you compelling. Look again at Paul. If he had stopped recycling the same lines and routines, if he had shown Karen different sides of his world, inviting her to a jazz night one week, cooking together at home the next, she would have seen depth. Instead of thinking, "I know exactly what's coming," she would think, "What's next?" That small shift keeps attraction alive. So remember this: predictable means replaceable. Reliability in your values is crucial, but monotony in your expression is deadly. Keep your word, keep your standards, but bring variety into how you show up. Don't let her read the whole book before the first chapter is finished. If this resonates, drop it in the comments. I live with variety. And stay tuned, because what comes next will challenge the way you've been handling conflict and why the way you've been reacting might actually be rewarding the very behavior you don't want. Number 4. Drama only rewards her. Here's something most men never realize. Every time you jump into the middle of drama, you're rewarding it. You think you're solving the problem. You think you're showing commitment. But what you're really doing is teaching her that chaos is the fastest way to get your attention. If every tear, every late-night argument, every cold shoulder earns her more of your energy, then expect more of it. Because whatever behavior gets rewarded will always grow. This doesn't mean she's manipulative or evil. Most of the time, it's unconscious. But relationships work like training. If conflict brings connection, she'll reach for conflict whenever she feels distance. Over time, the relationship starts to run on fire instead of calm. That's why so many men wake up wondering how things got so chaotic. They didn't set the standard. They kept paying out attention to the very thing they wanted to stop. The Stoics understood this well. Epictetus once said, "It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them." The storm is not the problem. It's your reaction that fuels it. When she throws accusations or plays silent games, your frantic explaining, defending, or begging only adds oxygen to the fire. The smarter move is to step back and control your own response. If calm is the climate you want, then you have to stop rewarding heat. So how do you do this? First, change the timing of your attention. Don't give peak energy in the middle of peak emotion. If she unloads a wall of blame at midnight, you don't need to write paragraphs back right away. You can wait until morning and reply with something simple and steady. I want to talk when we can be calm and clear. I'm free tomorrow at 6. Notice the difference. You're not ignoring, you're redirecting. You're showing that your presence is available for respect, not chaos. Second, reward maturity as soon as it appears. When the tone shifts, when she shows openness, that's when you give warmth and attention. This is how you train the relationship to associate closeness with respect, not with fighting. Over time, she starts to realize that drama gets her nothing, while composure gets her everything. The fear most men have is, won't I lose her if I don't engage? The answer is no. You'll lose the version of the relationship that depends on chaos, and that's a version you shouldn't want anyway. What replaces it is either a calmer, healthier bond or your freedom. Both outcomes are wins, because respect is the foundation of desire. Without it, romance collapses into cycles. With it, connection can grow. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The storm will happen, but you get to decide if you fuel it or starve it. When you stop paying attention to every flare-up, when you set clear standards and keep them, the fire runs out of air. That is leadership. That is how you protect your peace and protect your desire at the same time. If this speaks to you, write it in the comments. I control my reactions. And keep listening, because next we'll uncover something subtle that women do almost without thinking, and how your response in those moments decides whether she feels attraction or loses it. Number 5. She will test you. Every man needs to understand this truth. She will test you, not because she hates you, not because she wants to hurt you. She will test you because she needs to know who you really are under pressure. These tests are not random, they're questions in disguise. Questions like, are you steady? Do you mean what you say? Can I trust your frame, or will you fold the moment things get uncomfortable? Most men fail these tests because they react instead of leading. They over-explain, they get defensive, they chase reassurance, or they give in just to keep the peace. And the problem with that is simple. The moment you perform for her approval, you've shown that your center lives outside of you. That's when respect starts to slip, and when respect slips, attraction follows. Let's take a real story. Tom, a 55-year-old contractor from Ohio, started seeing Melissa, a 52-year-old nurse. Early on, Melissa would throw little lines like, "You probably have other women you're texting," or she'd suddenly go cold after a good date just to see what Tom would do. At first, Tom panicked. He'd send paragraphs, reassure her over and over, and even apologize for things he hadn't done just to get her back on track. But the more he did that, the colder she became. Why? Because his reactions proved the test was working. She could shake him whenever she wanted. One night, Tom decided to do something different. Melissa sent a vague, jealous text late at night. "I bet you're out with someone else." Instead of defending himself for 3 pages, Tom replied the next morning with a calm line. "If you want clarity, we can talk in person. I'm here for us, not drama." That was it. Short, warm, steady. For the first time, Melissa felt him leading instead of chasing. She didn't like losing control at first, but deep down, it made her feel safer. She started leaning back in because Tom showed he could set the tone. This is what tests are all about. They're invitations for you to prove your steadiness. Sometimes it's her going cold to see if you'll beg. Sometimes it's her canceling last minute to check if you'll still rearrange your life for her. Sometimes it's a sharp little jab to see if you'll snap back or keep calm. The wrong move in every case is to lose your frame. The right move is to slow down, state your standard, and keep living your life. Marcus Aurelius said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." Tests only hurt when you take them personally. When you see them for what they are, a question about your steadiness, they become opportunities. They let you demonstrate leadership without a speech. So here's the rule. Acknowledge what's happening, state your frame, offer direction, and hold the line. If she goes cold, you don't chase with 10 check-ins. You say, "Looks like you're tied up. Ping me when you're free, and we'll plan something fun." If she makes a sharp comment, you don't match edge with edge. You say, "I'm here for playful, not disrespect. If we keep it kind, I'm in." The words matter less than the tone. Calm, grounded, forward. Tests aren't a sign she doesn't like you. They're proof she's searching for a man strong enough to hold steady. When you lead through them, you don't just pass, you build trust, respect, and attraction all at once. If this hits home, put it in the comments. I hold my frame. And keep watching, because next we'll break down a quiet shift that changes how she values your time and why the way you use it determines whether she chases you or forgets you. Number 6. Distance makes her want you. Time is the most expensive thing you own. And here's the paradox. The more freely you give it away, the less it's worth. Most men don't realize this. They think being available at every moment shows devotion. In reality, it sends the opposite message. Unlimited time signals low value. Scarcity creates desire. When you protect your time, you don't push her away, you pull her closer. Think of it like this. If you're free whenever she calls, if you drop everything the second she asks, you've told her without words that your world revolves around her. At first, she might enjoy it, but soon it becomes clear. Your schedule has no weight. Your yes means nothing because you never say no. And when your time feels cheap, so do you. This doesn't mean being distant or cold. It means being structured. You set blocks for work, training, family, recovery, and you honor those first. When she sees that you have a life with edges, she respects it, and when you do offer your time, it feels special. 10 focused minutes of presence beats an hour of half-distracted chatter. Presence is premium. Scarcity makes it possible. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Living with structure is part of that. You don't need to argue your value. You show it by guarding your calendar, by making your availability specific, not endless. Instead of, "I'm free whenever," you say, "Friday's booked, but Sunday at 6 works." That communicates direction, a full life, and an invitation. It signals that spending time with you requires planning. And anything that requires planning gains weight. Texting needs the same principle. Endless back and forth leaks value. Use messages to set plans. Share a quick moment, then step out. Save depth for voice or face-to-face. If she tries to keep you in a constant loop, guide it gently. "I'm stepping into work. Call you tonight at 8. You just priced your time and gave her something to look forward to. Distance also exposes truth. If she cancels last minute more than once, you don't punish or plead. You reset the standard. No stress. Let's pick a day you're sure you can keep. That line tells her you're not backup. You're a commitment worth showing up for. If she gives breadcrumbs, you respond calmly. "Sounds like timing's off. Ping me when you can do real plans." Then you live your life. No essays, no edge, just quiet standards. Seneca said, "Life is long if you know how to use it. Use your time wisely. Protect it like it matters, because it does. The right woman will appreciate it, because it shows you value her time as well. You become the anchor, not the entertainer. Your yes becomes powerful. Your no becomes final, and both make you more attractive. If this resonates, drop it in the comments. I value my time. Stay with me, because next we'll uncover why the story you hold in your mind is the strongest force in any connection and how it silently shapes whether you lead or lose. Number 7. Control the frame. Win her. Every relationship lives inside a frame. The frame is the story you carry about yourself and about the connection. When you control that frame, you lead. When you lose it, you chase. And here's the truth. Attraction flows to the man whose frame is strongest. Take Richard, a 56-year-old business owner from Phoenix. He started dating Angela, 51, a fitness instructor. Angela had a fiery personality, late texts, playful jabs, mood swings that could catch Richard off guard. At first, he tried to fight fire with fire. When she showed up 20 minutes late, he snapped at her. When she teased him about talking to other women, he launched into long defenses. Each time, he thought he was standing up for himself. But what Angela felt was chaos. He was reacting to her frame instead of holding his own. One evening, things shifted. Angela walked into their dinner late again. This time, Richard smiled, leaned back, and said calmly, "Good to see you. Next time, let's keep it within 10 or we'll reschedule." No anger, no lecture, just a clear standard inside his frame. Angela laughed, but she also adjusted. She felt his steadiness. That's when respect started to grow. The frame is about climate. You can't control every storm, but you can decide the weather you allow around you. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When she tests with moods, delays, or little jabs, your strength is not in proving yourself. It's in holding your calm, setting your standard, and staying on track. Richard learned that presence was louder than protest. Shoulders relaxed, voice slower, eyes steady. That body language told Angela more than any speech. It said, "I'm not shaken, I'm not chasing, I decide the tone." And the remarkable thing is, the calmer he became, the more Angela leaned in. Because deep down, women don't feel safe with men who argue for their value. They feel safe with men who demonstrate it. Now, controlling the frame doesn't mean being rigid or domineering. It means being the anchor. If she drags you into endless text arguments, you don't fight paragraph for paragraph. You move it back to where you lead best. I don't do heavy talks over text. Call me at 8 or we'll talk tomorrow. If she tries to spike your emotions with jealousy, you stay grounded. If you want clarity, happy to talk properly. Tonight, let's enjoy dinner. Each time you redirect to your lane. Angela admitted later that what drew her in wasn't Richard's defenses. It was his ability to stay steady when she was unsteady. The frame became his strength, and because he held it, she respected it. Respect fuels attraction. Without it, you spiral into chaos. With it, you become the gravity that keeps the connection alive. So remember this, you don't have to argue for your worth. You don't have to chase to prove yourself. You have to control the frame. Your calm no is more powerful than a desperate yes. Your standards say more than your speeches. And when you set the tone, you win not through control, but through presence. If you're ready to live this, write it in the comments. I hold my frame. And don't go anywhere, because we're about to bring it all together, the habits that make you steady, attractive, and hard to replace so you can finally lead connections that work for both of you. Number 8. Mystery beats full honesty. Most men are taught to believe that total honesty means total attraction. Share everything, reveal every detail, open up every corner of your life, and she'll trust you more. The problem is, it doesn't work that way. Overexposure kills curiosity. When she knows your routine, your opinions, your past, your dreams, and even your fears all in the first month, the mystery is gone. And once the mystery disappears, so does the tension that keeps her engaged. Mystery isn't about lying. It isn't about hiding your character. It's about pacing what you reveal. Think of it like a story. If an author told you the ending on page 1, why would you keep reading? Attraction works the same way. A woman wants to turn the page. She wants to discover your depth step by step. When you rush to unload your entire story, you rob her of the most powerful part of romance: anticipation. The Stoics understood this on a deeper level. Seneca once wrote, "To be everywhere is to be nowhere." If you make yourself too available, too obvious, too explained, You stop being compelling. Presence is stronger when it's measured. You create weight when you don't put every card on the table. This isn't about playing games. It's about giving your words and your life room to breathe. Consider how this plays out in everyday dating. A man who answers every text within seconds, who tells every detail about his past relationships on the first date, who explains his entire daily schedule by the second week he thinks he's being transparent. What she feels is that she has nothing left to learn. Compare that to the man who replies when he's free, not immediately, who shares a story when it fits the moment instead of dumping it all at once, who listens more than he explains. He's not hiding, he's creating rhythm. That rhythm builds curiosity. Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." If you think scarcity means loss, you'll overshare and over-explain because you're afraid she won't stick around. But when you think like a Stoic, you realize scarcity creates value. When you give pieces of yourself gradually, she colors in the picture with her own curiosity. That picture is always more powerful than a flood of details she didn't ask for. This doesn't mean you should be distant or closed off. It means you pace the revelation of who you are. Instead of saying, "Here's everything about me," you allow her to earn the deeper layers. She learns your sense of humor in one chapter, your discipline in another, your ambition in another. Each discovery feels like progress. Each moment of patience keeps her leaning forward. That's how you sustain attraction long after the initial spark. Think of mystery as respect for yourself and for her. Respect for yourself because you're not desperate to be fully known instantly. Respect for her because you're letting her enjoy the journey. You're not forcing intimacy. You're allowing intimacy to grow naturally. So here's the truth. Full honesty on day one doesn't make you strong. It makes you predictable. Measured mystery, delivered with confidence and steadiness, makes you unforgettable. That's the balance. You're not playing hard to get. You're living a life worth discovering and letting her discover it in time. If this lands with you, type it in the comments. I protect my mystery. And keep listening, because what comes next will show you how your presence alone, without words, without effort, can turn her thoughts toward you in ways that looks never could. Number 9. Presence turns her on. There's something most men underestimate. The power of presence. Not gifts, not clever lines, not even looks. It's the energy you carry when you walk into a room. It's how you sit, how you listen, how you breathe. Presence is magnetic, and it turns women on in ways that surface charm never can. Let me paint this with a real story. James, a 53-year-old sales manager from Dallas, had been single for a few years when he met Claire, a 50-year-old marketing consultant. James wasn't the tallest guy in the room. He wasn't flashy, and he didn't have the biggest paycheck.